This episode of the Totally Uninformed Gaming Show is brought to you by Mac Weldon.
It all goes down next week. Games that you won't be able to play for 3 years are gonna be officially announced. Stuck-up gaming journalists get to play them and tell you how amazing they think they are, only because they get to play them first. Brands will spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on elaborate parties that will have literally nothing to do with the games they're marketing, and far more to do with getting people drunk so that they'll say nice things about them. And of course, the excitement of seeing this once great convention wither and die a slow, painful death in the shadow of more fan-friendly conventions as major publishers and developers inch further and further away from the actual show floor. That's gonna happen too, because it's time for E3, baby! So lower those expectations and let's get right into the previews!
Here we go!
No, you fucking cuck!
Peggy 18.
And by previews, we mean, well, literally everything that's either already been shown off, rumors that are most likely going to happen because the world of gaming is predictable, and then rampant speculation!
The most fun part.
Thankfully, most of the real gaming news journalism outlets have done all the work for us.
Thanks.
So let's just talk about what we're probably going to see at E3 first, and then move on to the what if category. Oh, and when we say what we'll see, we actually mean what you're going to see, because in our mission to get as far away from E3 as humanly possible, we decided that Cuba would be a good destination to hang out in while we wait until this cancerous mole of a convention has left our beautiful city behind once again. We won't even know what's happening.
Mostly because you can't even play modern games in Cuba. It's
Banned.
kind of pointless to even look at E3. It's literally one of the only places we could go to completely cut ourselves off from this convention, and we're doing it. There's not even decent enough internet so that we could even check to see what kind of slop these publishers are shoveling into your faces. But while we're all here, let's talk about what we're definitely gonna see come out of the convention, and we'll start with where you can see it and when you can see it. We're actually super helpful.
Yeah.
You see,
Were you looking for E3? I'm a paperclip.
you found it. You're gonna want to unfollow all gaming journalists.
Get rid of them.
Yeah, because
Drain your swamp.
all they're gonna do on Twitter is repeat the same shit that you're already watching. Stick to people who make jokes, like us. I mean, we
Yeah.
won't be involved in this E3, but yeah, follow the jokesters. And now that you've double followed us and unfollowed the other guys and girls, you can safely start watching the press conferences.
Oh, god damn it. So we're actually going to still be in town for some of these first ones. EA Play will start streaming on Saturday, June 10th at 12 p.m. Pacific. Then on Sunday, Microshaft will be hosting their X-Bow stream at 2 p.m. Pacific. By the way, if you're wondering what time that is for you because you live in a different part of the country or the world, why don't you just Google it?
Easier for you.
Bethesda is up next, taking things after hours. This
Yeah.
game rated M for mature, because they start streaming at 9 p.m. Pacific on Sunday,
The
June 11th.
midnight East Coast.
Yeah, sorry anyone not on the fucking west coast of the US, go fuck yourselves.
Yeah.
Peggy 18.
Ubisoft kicks things off on Monday with a press conference starting at 1 p.m. Pacific, and then the other major player, Sony, hosts their PlayStation reveals at 6 p.m. Pacific on Monday night. And then finally, straight from Japan, Nintendo swoops in with a waifu pillow and some noodles, and they're gonna let all the parents know what kind of shit their kids are gonna be dammering for bright and early on Tuesday, June 12th at 9 a.m. Pacific.
You made a new word out of clamoring.
Dammering.
Literally everything you need to know about E3 and every confirmation you're going to give a shit about is going to be happening during those major press conferences. There's probably going to be some other shit in there, but, probably you won't care outside of maybe Rockstar showing off some more screenshots of Red Dead Redemption 2. I mean, it would actually be pretty sweet if we got to see some real gameplay footage, but, we're not holding our
I'm waiting
breath.
for that ping pong.
Yeah, finally. So, what are those other guys going to show at their press conferences? Now, let's start with EA, Electronic Arts. What kind of electronic art are we going to be seeing from them this year?
It's in the game. We're definitely going to see some Battlefield 1 DLC, including the upcoming expansion In the Name of the Tsar. And we're sure as hell going to see a ton of stuff from Star Wars Battlefront 2, which we're pretty sure has the biggest uphill battle this year, considering just how boring the first game was, despite having one of the world's most beloved movie franchises at its disposal.
How could we make
Sad.
this terrible?
Aside from that, though, it's just your typical EA bullshit. Ooh, a new FIFA.
Wow.
How exciting. Oh, they're doing another Madden NFL release?
What?
For another year? Holy shit, what a fucking surprise. NBA Live? Do they know that 2K has already won the battle for virtual basketball years
I guess
ago?
not.
Also, there's a new Need for Speed, but we talked about that last week. Boring. Let's move on.
Microsoft kicks things off on Sunday with their Sunday Xbox briefing, and of course, the only thing that people are actually curious about is going to be whatever they end up calling Project Scorpio. The name...
Project
and-
Virgo.
Yeah, the name
Project Sagittarius.
Oh, Scorpio. You know what this console is? A freak in the sheets.
Whoa.
Hopefully they'll double confirm those specs. That's where all the eyes are going to be. The specs, they're already confirmed. They're not double confirmed. I don't know if there'll be any last minute surprises in there, but
Maybe Lisa Sue will come out.
yeah,
And
AMD for everyone.
AMD.
It might be slightly interesting just to see how the actual console looks. Hopefully it looks a lot better than the original Xbox One, which resembled an old VCR more than a video game console.
Yeah.
Look, it's fucking gigantic.
Yeah, it's huge. It's every day I look down below my TV and my original PS4 is sitting there all sleek and sexy. My original Xbox One is taking up half the shelf, just existing.
Yeah.
And don't even get me started on the area behind the TV with that fucking power brick just getting ready to set my house on fire any minute now.
Microsoft just doesn't give a shit about aesthetics.
Nope.
I think that's pretty fair to say.
Anyway, aside from all that, it looks like there will probably be something in regards to Crackdown 3
Oh, exciting.
and possibly a new Tomb Raider.
Whoa!
But to be honest, this is Microsoft. They don't give a shit about gaming, so after the Scorpio announcement, they'll probably just spend the rest of their time describing how great of a general entertainment console it is, and how you can watch movies and shit on it in exciting new ways, with probably a bunch of new social and streaming features that no one's ever asking for and no one's ever gonna use.
Yeah.
Definitely expect a lot of push for their new streaming service, Beam.
Mixer.
Or whatever the fuck. Mixer.
It is. It's now called Mixer, which is a name that is arguably much worse than Beam because you can't even say it as a verb. Check
Yeah,
me on
true.
Mixer. I'll be mixing on Mixer. Also, there's a billion other things called Mixer, just like there was a billion other things called Beam, so not really good at naming.
No.
Project Kinky Sex Machine.
Project Mixer.
And Mixer.
She's a Scorpio.
Yeah.
She fucks.
They should just call the new Xbox the Mix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get in the mix.
Get in the mix with the mix.
with 2X.
Microsoft Mix.
Mix.
Yeah, okay. The Xbox Minx.
Yeah.
There you go. The one good surprise that could save Xbox this year in the eyes of fans across the world would be if they finally announced that Cuphead was a real game that people could own instead of just being a multi-year long cock tease.
I played that
You can play it, but only at conventions.
at the parties.
Exclusive.
It's not for home use. It's apparently too good of a game. They're like, oh, if we release this, no one's gonna ever buy a game ever
It's
again.
too powerful.
Whoa!
We must hold it off releasing it for 3 years.
For an entire console cycle. Anyways, Bethesda is next on that big fat streaming schedule, and I literally just remembered that we were supposed to have a VR version of Fallout 4 by now on both PC and PS4, so I'm hoping that they made some progress with that.
The rumors mill says yes, PC.
Yeah.
PS4, November or something.
We're gonna wait until everyone forgets about the PSVR.
Or forgets about Fallout 4. Like, I don't mind. I've just been going back in the back catalog. I've been playing Fallout 3.
Yeah.
Just as good. Anyway, not much here that isn't already known unless they drop some huge news. They won't, though. They'll probably most likely talk about how the Morrowind expansion is now available for everyone's favorite game, Elder Scrolls Online. A game that is simply not good enough to get a massive amount of people interested in it, make it worthwhile. It's not a MMO, it's a...
It's a SumMMO. Yeah, I get some
It's an
people.
SMO, a somewhat multiplayer...
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
Minority multiplayer online game.
It is a decent enough game, but it launched with so many problems and such little fanfare that it's been an uphill battle ever since.
Yeah.
They also have a card game like Hearthstone coming out, but let's be honest, that's like when Battleborn came out and tried to compete with Overwatch. It was sad.
Yeah,
Probably
it's-
won't translate either. Other than that, they might show off Skyrim for the Switch, which is only interesting because we'll get to see where they've made sacrifices to the graphical integrity of a 4-year-old game in order to make it portable on a current-gen system.
Would you like to
So-
buy the next 2 hours of this game? Please uninstall the first 2 hours and put the next 2 hours.
Why don't you put your Switch in the fridge for about 30 minutes? It's getting real warm in here.
Yeah, no. Do you want to enter this different area? Cool. Download it separately and then delete the other file.
So yeah, not much to get too hyped out here over, unless they surprise everyone with some huge Fallout expansion that brings hundreds of hours of new content along with it. Not gonna happen. But
Fallout 4, New Vegas.
Yeah.
New Reno. There we go.
New Reno, yeah.
Well, what's an area outside of Boston? Worcester?
So they already did DC, Boston, the desert of Vegas, California.
Yeah, so they got to do something like just outside of Boston.
Montana.
They should set one in Mexico. Have the
Fallout,
whole game in
Connecticut.
Spanish.
Fallout, Connecticut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fallout, Florida.
Yeah. That'd be great.
Giant alligators.
Yeah.
Giant cougars.
And both cougars, the women and the animals.
mint juleps.
Yeah. That's not the same. Anyways, Ubisoft is next on the list, and if nothing else, I'm just hoping that they at least announce that they'll be making a sequel to The Division. The movie's coming out. Why not?
Oh yeah.
It's the E3 thing to do, because if it's anything like the first Division, it'll take years to complete, and they can just milk it with raised expectations over the course of multiple years of this convention. But realistically, we're just going to see a lot more promotion for the South Park game, which itself is abiding by the Ubisoft standard of being delayed numerous times before release.
What about dancing? Or Just Dance?
Just Dance.
There's also probably a new Assassin's Creed game, and a lot of people seem to think that it's going to take place in ancient Egypt, but that'd probably be pretty boring considering it's a game where you do a lot of parkour and...
Pretty easy to run up a pyramid. Little kids can do it.
Look at all this parkour out in the desert.
No. Of course, there's going to be a whole heap of new info and gameplay for Far Cry 5, aka Alt-Right Simulator 2017.
Yeah.
Seriously, the game looks fun. It's great watching people act like they're upset by this, considering the fact that most are perfectly fine when games within the shooter category are based on extreme stereotypes of other countries and other groups of people.
Yeah.
God forbid someone takes the piss out of how over-the-top people in the US can be. Looks like a fun romp.
Yeah.
Oh, and they're also apparently making a sequel to The Crew. All right. Yeah, they should just combine Far Cry 5 and The Crew, though. That would be great.
The Crew already has a great US map built into it. They can get in their cars.
It's like Skyrim with cars.
Yeah.
Adam Kovic, 2017.
The other huge console maker takes the stage Monday night, and they'll either pump one last bit of energy into the PSVR platform or announce its time of death. For us, the success of the PSVR is teetering on three things. Battlefront 2 having an expanded VR mode, Fallout 4 VR being confirmed again and actually having a release date, or some kind of network-wide social platform for PSVR users that is, it has to be seamless and perfect.
It has to work.
Yeah, I don't know. Otherwise, these things, the PSVR, I mean, they're just going to be a decorative item in your room until the next generation is released. You're going to look back on them like the Virtual Boy. Oh, wow, how unique.
Sad.
Honestly, we have no idea what to expect aside from that. The PS4 Pro is already out, and we doubt that they'll do yet another console.
The Pro.
Then there's that project with Hideo Kojima called Death Stranding. Not really much else, though. Maybe there'll be some big surprises out of Sony? Who knows? This actually makes their press event one of the most anticipated because they're holding all their cards tight to the chest.
Yeah, Sony's like a box of chocolates.
And they actually are a gaming console, unlike the Microsoft Xbox.
But then, how could we forget Nintendo? Pretty easily, probably. But Pokken Tournament, Super Mario Grand Theft Auto game, Splatoon. Yeah, that's all we're expecting. Maybe more online service details? Could be. Just give us a new Donkey Kong Country or Smash Brothers. That would be great. Good enough. All in all, E3 is going to be exactly what it is every year. A blue balls and blue vaginas inducing tease where everything that is playable has already been revealed and everything that is announced won't be out for years. And since we left on the topic of Nintendo, we thought it would only be fair if Shibby reviewed a Nintendo game this week, even though we had no idea that they were still releasing games for the Switch.
I thought it was like, oh, we're only doing 2 games and then you have to wait till next
Yeah,
year.
that's what they do. They release a console and then 2 months later they're like,
But apparently there's another new game coming out. But before we get into Shivy's review, let's take a moment to thank this week's sponsoring advertiser, Mack Weldon. Mack Weldon is a premium men's essential brand that believes in smart design, premium fabrics, and simple shopping. Mack Weldon has a limited edition line of silver underwear and shirts that are naturally antimicrobial.
Mack Weldon wants you to be comfortable, so if you don't like your first pair, just keep it. You can, and they will still refund you. Time limits may apply. Just follow the instructions in the My Account section after receiving your order.
Mack Weldon underwear, socks, and shirts look good, and they're good for working out, going to work, going out on dates, just everyday life. If you go to MackWeldon.com, you can get 20% off using promo code MACKETC. That is MACKETC. Go there, use the promo code, helps us out, helps the show.
Wow.
There is.
Shibby, what are you reviewing?
Arms.
Arms.
X-arm.
As arms.
Arm. Watch.
Watchdog.
Punch Boys and Ramen Girls. This week I'm reviewing a little first-party $60 game from Nintendo called ARMS. For those of you not in the know, not the Rooster Teeth knockoff version of Inside Gaming Daily needing to literally steal Admin Bruce to relaunch that franchise, it's a third-person fighting game that encourages the player to pretty much exclusively motion control on Nintendo Switch.
Way
Yes.
to punch up with that last joke, Shimmy. They're doing great.
Yes, you've heard me, viewer. A $60 fighting game that heavily encourages you to punch your arms. Like McGregor versus Mayweather. Well, not Mayweather because he just runs around the arena like a pussy at your TV, or God forbid, a Switch in the kickstand variation.
Wait, wow, way to punch up, Shimmy. That guy could beat your ass.
We'll go 1v1. Let's imagine downloading your brand new $60 first-party Nintendo game, plopping your ass on the couch, which of course you dream of eating, and placing your likely scratched Nintendo Switch down, Ricky, on a little coffee table in front of you, most likely with the screen deformity from being inside its own dock, lol, and sliding those neon-colored dumb cons because you want to get woke as fuck punching the thin air in front of you. I know, this crazy little scenario. It's crazy, right? All of this just in your lonely 300 square foot New York apartment. Imagine how lit it would be on the rooftop with all your friends, like in that Nintendo launch commercial. I mean, you're no longer friends as you ruin a party throwing your arms like you're high on Molly at EDC. That should be criminal.
Ooh, I'm so confused. It's like you wrote too much for yourself.
Stay hydrated out there, fam. Back to the coffee table example,
yeah,
Ricky.
EDC's this week.
Is it?
Yeah, you gonna go rave?
It's been, I think I went to 2014. It was great. Yeah. Imagine you're bent over in the most unappealing way, staring deeply into your kickstand-centric Nintendo Switch as you toss your physical and literal arms around like a monkey, as you attempt your hardest to throw your back out to figure out what the fuck is going on screen.
Just sounds like
it's so
you don't
small.
want to do any physical activity at all.
Yeah.
Have you seen how lanky my arms are? It's true. But
But
They're
Nintendo.
just so lanky. They're the same length of the arms in the game.
Yeah, see, Shimmy can't play this game because he punched the screen.
it's too
No
much
matter how far it
it's
is.
too much physical travel time
Yeah.
for me. But Nintendo fanboys, maybe this is up your alley. However, as a glorious PC Master Race player who can bask in 4K resolution, 144 hertz refresh rate, wet cream dream gameplay, you peasants playing on your precious Nintendo Switch, in this format you look like a goddamn caveman. Look, these reviews are so ethical, I don't even need to talk about the boring gameplay after 1 hour, all the characters feeling the same other than Bark, Bite, and Helix, and the gangbang nature of the party modes, and the busted minigames to unlock any customization in an already $60 game. While free updates are planned, this game is lacking content at a current AAA price point, and I must recommend that you pass because a year from now, this game will be vastly different, and there will probably be another Nintendo Switch revision out. Look, or just look, at what happened to Splatoon. There, and already the second one's out. What the fuck? Spare your friendships, hashtag Forever Alone Lifestyle, by avoiding this ARMS game so you can get out there and get some ass. 0 out of 10.
Wow.
Is there already arms, like hentai porn?
Probably.
All right. Well, that's cool. It just sounds like you're kind of lazy.
True.
So, all right. Well, anyways, we all know Shibby is trash. But you know what isn't trash?
Red Dead Redemption.
Red Dead Redemption. And with a sequel on the way, we thought it would be fun to look up some reviews for the original. Well, that was a mistake because apparently one guy hated it so much that he wrote a fucking novel on Amazon. It's definitely worth the whole read, so that's what we're gonna do right now. The review for the original Red Dead Redemption comes from Amazon user Truth Wielder, and they titled their review Abysmal. Here it is.
Massively overhyped, appallingly underwhelming. Yes, it's another Rockstar game. The world created for this game is amazing. Everything about playing the game is a wreck. The crime and justice system is way out of whack. It's like Rockstar wanted to make sure the player didn't have fun, go on a rampage crime spree, so they decided everything the player does wrong should be punished and be a hassle. I took out my firearm to defend myself against a coyote that was attacking me. A sheriff and his deputies nearby instantly began firing on me. This happens all the time. If you accidentally bump into someone in town, it's a crime. If you accidentally point your gun at the wrong direction, you will be hassled by the game. This includes losing any mission progress you're currently on, and some of the missions just disappear entirely if you commit a crime during them. Wild West shouldn't be used to describe the setting of this game. It's more like the Tamed West, where you have to pay a fine or get shot to death if someone witnesses you spit your gum on the street. The game uses modern political correctness as its storytelling crutch and is not congruent with the facts of history at all. This game is laden with racism, referring to people as hillbillies and white trash. Sure, that phrase existed in the 1800s, and depicting the Irish as drunken sexual deviants. Meanwhile, every other person in this game that's supposed to represent a historical setting is black. The modern political correctness and cultural Marxism depicted by this game is suffocating. Anyone who has an understanding of history will have to completely suspend their intelligence and awareness of fact in order to enjoy this game. It's supposed to be set in the 19th century of the Wild Wild West, but all the interaction between characters, what they talk about, and how they talk about it is straight out of the 21st century. This constantly shattered any immersion I might have experienced while playing. And I continue. The game should not have made it past the ESRB. I don't see implied sex with animals on the ESRB ratings warnings. I can't even go into details about what this game depicts in its cutscenes without making this review unpublishable on Amazon. Let me say that again. I can't even tell you what is in this game without this review being automatically regarded as inappropriate due to obscenity by Amazon. Nobody in the press and not one of the brain-dead cheerleaders for this game even mentions the truth about the disgusting nature of the scenes depicted in this game. If it's so bad that you have to censor people from even talking about it, then why do I have to be the sole voice complaining about its presence in a mainstream video game that's gonna be played by children? Look into your empty, vacant, and useless voids where your brain should be for the answer to that one. This game was offensive, incomplete, historically inaccurate, racist, sexist, and soulless. Underwhelmed doesn't even begin to describe the sensation this latest offering of Rockstar's imbued me with. Not this time. I'm done with Rockstar games. They are free to continue their heedless path into the hells of their own creation, but I'm not gonna give them money for it anymore. I've never intentionally destroyed a video game disc before, but I did this game's. Okay, I still feel okay about it. My primary regret is that I can't destroy all of your copies too. One of the top 5 most disappointing games I've had the misfortune to purchase in my 25 plus years as a gamer. 1 star.
His review is all over the place in the sense that he's like, it's too tame, it's brutal, it's this, it's that, there's more of this, oh, I hated that. It's like, he goes back and forth between a very specific line that he finds offensive.
Yeah.
Or not offensive.
And he considers the word hillbilly to be a racial slur.
Yeah.
That game sounds awesome.
Yeah. I want to go back and play it again.
Yeah, I mean, the guy, I'll give him
This video game is
he cares about
historically
gaming.
inaccurate.
He takes gaming very seriously.
Yeah, he's a better reviewer than you. We got to get him in here.
That guy's great.
Yeah.
He's got principles and he sticks to them.
What was the line?
Ethics, 10 out of
The
10.
soulless void that should be your brain or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah, he's a
The
better
poet.
writer.
Get this guy a job at Electronic Gaming Monthly.
And with the rest of your free time, check this out. Elliot, what do we got for him?
We did a little live stream of Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator. I guess you could call it gameplay, although this game you just sort of, you set the pieces in place and you watch the results happen, and I think we had a great time. We're gonna have to revisit this one soon.
Yeah.
Also, there's a new episode of Tech News Day where we solved the border crisis.
It's done. Buy some merch at etcmerch.com. We love you. Goodbye.
Bye.